Now introducing a new web-based news organization here in Oklahoma City to provide a local perspective on politics, special events, news of the day, sports, and community events. Introducing Reginald Maclin, Mary Lucas-Eriven, and Christina Kirk, your RMC news team presents to you Coffee Table Talk.
Hello, this is Reginald Maclin with RMC News. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming matchups in the NFL. We have the AFC Championship game that's going to take place between the Kansas City Chiefs and the upstart Tennessee Titans. And then in the NFC, we have the San Francisco 49ers who are going to be taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to give you a little analysis on both games there. Then we're going to talk about reasons that our RMC News fans gave to us as far as why their team would win. And then finally, I will give you my picks. We'll also have polls that will be embedded in the video. So feel free to select which teams you think they're actually going to win. But we'll go ahead and we'll start with the AFC matchup first. We have, once again, the Tennessee Titans. And no one expected the Titans to be there besides their fans, who defeated Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in Foxborough 20-13 during the wild card matchup. And then they went to Baltimore, and no one was really expecting them to win. They were expecting the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Raven offense to run all over them, but instead they put the clamps down on them and beat them in Baltimore 28-13. Now they're on the road again for the third week in a row, where they'll be taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. Now, for those of you who have never been at Arrowhead Stadium before, I'm just letting you know now that that place will be rocking. And once it starts rocking, it's hard for an opposing team to get their calls out, etc. So the Titans are going to have to come in and be prepared and be focused. Now, the Chiefs' path, they've only played one game, but as you all know, last week they played the Houston Texans. They're in Arrowhead Stadium, and the Texans jumped out on them and took a 24-0 lead in the second quarter. But then all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes and that quick strike offense of theirs just started touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And so by the time we made it to halftime, the Chiefs were up on the Texans 28-24, and they didn't let up on them. The final score of that particular game was 51-31. And so now the Chiefs are sitting one game away from going to the Super Bowl. And so it's going to be a really interesting matchup. As you know, if you look at the Kansas City offense, they have weapons upon weapons upon weapons. Obviously, we all know about Patrick Mahomes, and not only dealing with his mobility and scrambling ability, but he has a cannon for an arm as well. But he has weapons to utilize within that offense. You look at Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. And then if you're looking in the backfield and you're using Damian Williams, and they have weapons galore. And it's going to be critical for the Tennessee Titan defense to go in and shut the whole offense down. I mean, they can kill you with the run, they can kill you with the pass, even though they're a they're a pass-dominated offense. Either way, you're just going to pick your poison. Now, the Titans come in and their defense has momentum. I mean, they've been able to shut down Tom Brady's offense. They've been able to shut down Lamar Jackson's offense. So what are you going to be able to do against Patrick Mahomes? At the end of the day, they're just going to have to make sure that they maintain their focus as they're going against their offense, try to get some pressure there on Mahomes and try to force them into mistakes to help keep their team within the game. On the flip side of it, you look at that Tennessee Titans offense, and you're going to get heavy doses of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the NFL leading rusher this year. If you followed them and looked at their games through these playoffs, I mean, they are run dominated. It basically, Ryan Tannehill, he's basically a manager of the game. He reminds me so much of the 2000 Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer. Basically, we're controlling the ball. It's going to be critical. We're going to keep the ball out of the opposing team's hands and not give them enough opportunities to go in where the offense could go in and score. So you look at the Titans, if they can go in and have success going in and getting first down at the first down, you're looking probably at 7, 8, 9-minute drives and keeping it out of Mahomes' hands. And so that's going to be their key to success in order to go ahead and win in Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be tough, but it's possible. I mean, that's why they play the game, right? So you cannot assume that one team is just automatically going to win. If that was the case, it would be Baltimore that would be in the championship game against the Chiefs right now. So I said, you don't know. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing that game happen. And so, I don't know, it could be really interesting. Will Kansas City be able to make it back? Will Tennessee be able to make it back for the first time since they had their heartbreaking loss in Super Bowl 34? Who could forget that Kevin Dyson, he had that catch and run, but then it stopped at the 1-yard line against St. Louis. Heartbreaking. And so maybe they make it back to the Super Bowl and have opportunity to finally get a Super Bowl win for their franchise. That's it. You never know. Now, turning over to the NFC. Now, we have another matchup. San Francisco just beat the handles off of the Packers back in week 12, 37-8. So basically you have a rematch. So the Packers are going in there looking for revenge or looking for payback, and not only to beat the 49ers, but then, in their quest to get into the Super Bowl and possibly win a 6th Super Bowl. Look at it offensively. San Francisco has the 4th-ranked offense within the NFL. Obviously, you look at the progress of Jimmy G, and oh my goodness, you look at George Kittle. Who's going to stop him from the Packers defense? I mean, they can exploit you in so many different ways. Their run game, if that gets in gear, I mean, it's just the Packers are going to have their work cut out for them as far as going ahead and stopping the Packer offense. But if they do, they obviously will give their offense a chance to win the game. And look at the Packers offense against the 49er defense. The Packer offense obviously led by Aaron Rodgers, and then also Aaron Jones as a running back. The Packers, they can hurt you, especially if they can get their running game in gear. But San Francisco 49er run defense is, it's probably the best or one of the best in the NFL. And so they proved in week 12 that they were able to go and shut them down. And without that running game there, then obviously you're relying on Aaron Rodgers to go in and pass your way to Adams, etc., and pass your way to victory. Can they do that in Levi Stadium? Will they be able to get beyond what happened the first time? Once again, that's how why you play the game. But the Packers defense has been able to go in and they've been playing better here recently. Obviously they were able to go through and take care of Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. They stopped them in critical situations, and they're going to have to do the same thing to the 49ers. They're going to have to force Jimmy G into some critical mistakes, so that way that they can keep their defense, keep their team in contention to potentially win the game. So once again, it should be really, really exciting. If I had to go in, and I'm going to go ahead and now I'll just save it towards the end on who I think is actually going to win. But I'm really excited for it. Obviously, for those of you who actually know me in real world, y'all know who my team is. And so I'm just looking forward to next year. But if you love football, obviously this is a great time of year. It's almost towards the end. And then we get to fuss and argue about our teams as we start up next year. So with that, I did ask and solicited feedback from friends and those of you who are followers of RMC News on reasons why your teams will win. Now, I had a bunch of feedback from Kansas City fans. I had a bunch of feedback from San Francisco fans, but Tennessee fans and your Packer fans were kind of quiet. I'm just going to realize y'all just didn't see my post, but did get a couple of things. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the top reasons why your teams are going to win. We're going to start with the AFC first, and then we'll go to the NFC, and then finally I'll give you my picks on who I think is going to win. So we'll start with Kansas City. First off, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was obviously a choice of a whole bunch of people who went and actually messaged me. Gates, obviously, Gates Barbecue. I remember my first time going in there. Can I help you? And I'm sitting a mile away before I'm even at the register. That was a really weird experience, but great barbecue. Arthur Bryant's, Jack Stack, Slaps. Now, once again, don't you see there's a barbecue? It's barbecue, just going barbecue. It's just all along the line. And it has some serious ones. It's like, well, can the Titans stop Travis Kelce? Because I don't know, it's going to be really hard to stop him. Then you have Damian Williams. Damian Williams is obviously come back from how he performed last year, and now he has something to prove to try to go ahead and push his team into the Super Bowl. The Honey Badger don't care. And then lastly, Patrick Mahomes once again. Meanwhile, on the flip side for the Titans, obviously, the reason why the Titans will win over Kansas City, Derrick Henry. He's a monster. If you've watched the last couple of games, or if you just watched him throughout this season, he's been obviously manhandling a whole bunch of people. He's just a tough running back to stop. Then you look at, hey, Tennessee barbecue is the best and KC's trash. Hey, I didn't say it, so don't put it on me. I have my preference, but I'm not going to go and relay this on this video because I don't want to get killed in either Kansas City or in Tennessee. Capitol Grill Barbecue. We're the home of country music. We're the volunteer state, so we're signing up to kick some chief tail. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill, and then the best football movie, arguably, which is Remember the Titans. Well, I know the Patriots do, and I know the Ravens do as well. So those are the reasons on the AFC side. On the NFC side of things, we have for San Francisco, we've got the best defense in the league, best running game, and coach. These are facts. Nick Bosa, obviously really dominant defensive lineman for the 49ers. Richard Sherman. Hey, he has all that experience that he had when he was with Seattle, and so you have him out there on the corner. He gives them a great chance to win. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. That was kind of cheesy, but hey, whatever. And then also the five-time NFL champions, looking for 6. So, and then for the Packers, the reason why they'll beat the San Francisco 49ers is they have Ron squared. We're the cheesiest. I don't know where they got that from, but whatever. The frozen tundra. And then, obviously, tradition. So, those are the things that's the reason why Packer fans think that they're going to beat the 49ers. So, but then we can just rely on someone who's not necessarily a football observer, but what this person told me is, hey, it's all about the uniform. The coolest looking uniform wins because they have more confidence and style. So, I don't know. Who do you think has the best uniform out of the 4 that are left? We'll see. But anyway, it should be a great 2 games as they, but all 4 teams try to make it to the Super Bowl. As far as my picks are concerned, if I was going to look in the AFC, it is going to be really, really tough to beat Kansas City at home. The Titans have been able to capture lightning in the bottle twice, but I think this is going to be the time that it runs out. So I think that the Chiefs will go ahead and they will win and make it to their 3rd Super Bowl within their franchise history. So you might have the opportunity to win their 2nd one. Who knows? Then looking at the NFC, now obviously State Farm would have a vested interest in this if Green Bay and Kansas City won. So, you could imagine like the slogans and advertisements. It's like, it would be the State Farm Bowl, Patrick Mahomes versus Discount Double Check. So, but once again, this is not about State Farm or anything like that. This is football. So, looking at the game itself, obviously we know what Aaron Rodgers has been able to do in the past. We know that they have a potent running game whenever they get the ball rolling, but I cannot help but to look back at their matchup of what they had back in Week 12. Just San Francisco just totally dismantled them. And I'm not saying that that's going to, dismantlement is going to happen again tomorrow, but I think that San Francisco, with their defense, with their offense, that they're going to be able to go through and pull it out. Green Bay is going to have to, the only way that Green Bay really is going to be able to win, they're going to have to force turnovers. So it's going to be up to their defense to go in and help keep this close. If they can make it into halftime and the game is close, then I think they'll have the opportunity to go and might be able to pull out the upset. But other than that, I think it's going to be, you're looking at the Super Bowl matchup. You'll have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. So those are my picks. But hey, once again, love to hear your picks and hear what you all have to say as football fans or just fans in general of RMC News. So once again, remember to subscribe below if you have any sort of ideas of things that you would like for us to cover, etc., whether it's locally or dealing with sports, etc. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. And once again, thank you for taking the time out watching this video, and we will see you next time.